Alright, all you trash kickers, this is TBrown0065. Welcome back to another discussion episode here. This topic is going to sound controversial, and for some of you, your asses are going to bleed after this video. And guess what? I do not care. I'm going to be brutally honest, because I am not going to waste my time to try and please everyone, and I am not catering to this political correctness. I am not making this video to encourage hostility. I am making this video for information purposes. Now that stuff is out of the way, let's talk. There's a post I came across on social media about consent before content. It was a photo that YouTube had up on social media somewhere, and what that principle is basically you gotta get permission from the person before you feature him or her in your video. And the reason why I would like to speak out against that principle is because there are instances where that principle just does not apply. For example, when you are out in the public place somewhere, there's people around you, and because of that, people are watching you. And you do not have any level of privacy when you're in the public. Okay, you're already in a public eye when you're in a public place because people are watching you. They recognize you. Okay? And if someone is filming you, guess what? They have the right to do that. I don't care what social media companies say. You know, people are within their rights to film you, whether you consent or not, so long as it's in a public place. Okay? You know, it's because of the fact that you have no privacy when you're in a public place. You got security cameras that are doing it. Okay? And the reason why security cameras exist is because it's so that way if you're doing something illegal, it gets caught on camera, it gets reported to the police come and they arrest you. Okay? You know, if, and when somebody films you out in the public and let's say you're doing something stupid, well, guess what? You know, people have the right to film you doing that and make a documentary of it and call you out. Okay? They're within their rights to do that. Okay, you do not have the right to file privacy complaints, you know, just because you got exposed for doing dumb things. Okay? Because when you do file privacy complaint, well, guess what? In that instance, you're trying to pull a Streisand effect. Okay? So that's something I want to bring to your attention. Another thing, when it comes to featuring someone's face, name, so on and so forth. Okay? If that information is accessible to the public, okay, you do not need permission to use that person's name in your video. And the reason being is because anyone can access it. Okay, anyone can access that information just by doing Google search or whatever search engine that they use. They can use that and easily find information about the person that's in the video. Okay? And the thing is that when it comes to consent before content, you know, my concern about that principle is that's going to impede upon free expression. Okay, because people should have the right to criticize other people for their dumb behavior. Okay? When it comes to celebrities, okay, celebrities have no protection when it comes to their privacy. And the reason being is because they're already recognized by the public. And any information about celebrities, well, guess what? Anyone can access that information. It's public domain. Okay? Whether it be person's face, name, so on and so forth, that stuff is easily accessible. Okay? You know, the point being is that when someone is in a public eye, you should not need permission, like whether it's in a public space or an online celebrity or featured in a news article or wherever else that where the person's information is easily accessible to the public, you should not need permission from that person to feature him in your video. It's that simple. Okay, that's what I want to bring to your attention. As long as the person is in a public eye, you should not need permission from that person to feature him in a video. So therefore, consent before content does not apply. Okay, now the instance when consent before content does apply is if you are filming someone in their private space. Okay, if you want to film someone who's like in their bedroom, for example, then in that instance, yeah, I can understand why you would need consent before producing content, okay? If it involves children, okay, or if it basically anything to do with a person's personal life, when it comes to exposure of those details, yeah, I can see why you would need consent. Okay, that's understandable. I'm not knocking them for that. If they want to go file a privacy complaint against a creator who features details about, a person's personal life, like personal relationships, stuff like that, then in that instance, I can understand. I'm not hitting the person filing complaints for that. Okay. And there's some information out there, it's like whether it's a public figure or not, it's like you should never reveal, okay, under any capacity. If it's like banking information, social security numbers, home addresses, phone numbers, stuff like that, if you're revealing that type of information to a public, then in that instance, yeah, in that case, you should be punished for it, okay? Because that stuff is illegal, okay? You can go to jail for that kind of stuff. When you dox somebody, I mean, like, reveal, like, their private information, you're putting their lives at risk, okay? There's people out there who get swatted, and some people even lost their lives due to that. If your sensitive information's on the internet or your personal information's on the internet, in that instance, yeah, you should reach out to authorities and let them help you out. Because I don't want to see anyone in harm's way. Okay? At the end of the day, whether or not you need consent from the person to be featured in your video, it all depends on where it's being done. Okay? So long as the person's in a public eye, you should not need consent to feature that person in your video. It's that simple. Okay? I'm all about following the rules of society, and I'm also all for challenging the rules. Okay? Because, some rules don't apply to every instance. And that's something I want to bring to your attention. Some people don't have, which actually, this is a common problem with society. And I may have talked about it in some of my other videos, that rationality is a rarity now. People don't have common sense. Okay? When it comes to being featured in a video without giving consent, one of the things that the person has to understand is, well, yeah, but if your information is easily accessible to the public, you've basically have given the public permission to feature you, okay? Whether you may want to admit it or not, if your information is easily accessible to the public, and I'm talking about like your name and your face, stuff like that, you've given public permission to feature you in a video or photo or whatever. Okay? I mean, it's not just the internet, but if you're like out in the public space somewhere where there's people, yeah, you've basically given public permission to feature you. Okay? So, as long as you're in a public eye, guess what? You have no privacy. I just want to warn you. It's not something you may not want to hear, but it's not going to change the narrative. And if you still can't handle what I just said here, then I honestly don't know what I can do to help you. Anyways, yeah, this is TBrown0065. If you liked what you saw, make sure you leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe for more awesome content. As always, thank you for watching. I hope that all of you have a good one.